Hey everyone, Mr. Man Talks back with another one. Today we're going to be talking about the Ruger Mini 14, one of my favorite rifles. Let's get into it. Stand by. So why the Ruger Mini 14 when there's so many ARs out there, AKs, so many different platforms? For me, it's nostalgia. Grew up in an era where it was a transition phase between the new Glock polymer pistols and also the old school revolvers. And the Mini 14 for the longest time was the only rifle out there that was semi-automatic, magazine fed, mimicked the M1 Garand style action, the M14 action. Near and dear to my heart. I've owned this, I think this is the fifth one. It's a love-hate relationship. Let's go over some details about this rifle. It's a semi-automatic rifle chambered in 5.56 223. As you can see, it has a black plastic stock, which is very durable. Has a rubberized butt pad, Ruger logo on the bottom. Has a plastic heat shield up top. It also protects your hands from the operating rod, which reciprocates every time you fire. This has fixed sights. Let's see if I can get a shot of that. There you go. Fixed sight with a peep, and the blade front side with wings to protect it. This one happens to be blued. They come in stainless. They also come in different calibers. I think they have a 6.8. They have a 7.62 by 39, and they have a strictly 223 chambering for these rifles. It's a box-fed magazine, detachable magazine. You see how we have the trigger guard, and the safeties right here. Standard Ruger Mini 14s come in an 18-inch barrel length. They do sell a 16-inch version that is non-threaded, and they also sell a 16-inch version that is threaded. This is not a Ruger factory muzzle brake or threaded barrel. What I ended up doing, got myself a 18-inch rifle. I shot it for a while, and I said, you know what? I really want a Ruger tactical. I found a company that was located out of Minnesota. Got good reviews online, sent in the barrel to action, and I had it back, I think within 2 weeks. They had moved the front sight back, repinned it. They had threaded the end of the barrel. So this is a 16-inch barrel threaded to the end. And I put on the muzzle brake of my choice, and it has been working fairly well. I enjoy it now. It's 2 inches off the end of a barrel, but the aesthetics of it looks a lot better. And also for me, it handles a little bit better. And having the addition of a muzzle brake, or if I move out of state, having an addition of having an opportunity to put on a suppressor would be great. With the 580 series, they changed the barrel profile. It's no longer a skinny barrel profile. Underneath and behind this gas block, it's a little bit thinner. It's a little bit thicker out here from the gas block forward, kind of tapers down. Not, this is a piston-driven rifle working in conjunction with the operating rod. So when you fire the weapon, bullet exits there. Right here at the gas block, a little bit is bled off into a short piston, which pushes the operating rod back, chambers another round. It's actually a very simple system, but at the same time, it's very reliable. If you've never shot a Mini 14, one of the things that you will experience is because of that piston-driven system, the gas block has a gas port bushing, which is fairly large, so it can cycle most ammunition, brass case, and even a steel case ammunition. So it works through all different types of ammunition, and the issue with that is, because of the large gas port, it kicks out brass about good 20 or 30 feet away from you. The sight back here is attached with a screw, and it's also a fixed sight. It's very difficult to adjust. Some adjustment points on the side here and also on this side. And I'd say once you have it adjusted, don't adjust it. It's a pain in the ass. It is not very user-friendly. There are some aftermarket products that you could purchase if you prefer a different sight. This could also take a scope mount or a Picatinny rail. So on the very top, you'll see the screws. There's 1, 2, and 3. Those screws could come out and you could attach a Picatinny rail. They provide the Picatinny rail and also they provide the screws, the longer screws that you'll need to secure that Picatinny rail. I found that it doesn't work all that great. I have, it's cut out. Let me show you. It's cut out right here on a Picatinny rail. So you only get usable rail spaces right up here and right back here, right back here. So even if you mount a scope to it, it's going to be sitting a lot higher. It's not going to be very useful. If you do the direct mount with the Ruger rings, which I found is the best way to do it, they're very secure, but you still don't get a great optic mount for the Ruger Mini 14 with the Picatinny rail. I found that you can mount a red dot, but it's not, I don't know. I'm still looking for that perfect solution. So right now I'm just running irons. I'll just leave it at that. When you look at these rifles in person, or you handle them, or if you have one, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Some people just run a scope on it all the time. I did run for the longest time. I ran a fixed scope on it. I think it was a 4-power, and then I ran a variable, which is a 1x4. And those have worked well, but I find that they're pretty bulky. And where this rifle really shines, even though it's dated as far as the age that it is and the technology, it shines really well with iron sights. It's really quick to come up onto the shoulder. I don't like having anything like a scope blocking my action because it's an open top action. It does side eject. But with that open top action, I want to be able to get in there and clear out any malfunctions. See, this is a traditional type of sling attachment, like a hunting style setup, which I don't prefer. Now, if I'm running it, sometimes I'll just loop it over my neck like that. You can come up pretty quick. Sometimes I just run it without the sling at all attaching to my body in any way whatsoever. There are some aftermarket products you could do. I've seen someone actually install a QD point on the stock right here, which if you attach your sling up this way and have it come over the top, it won't have the tendency to roll over as long as your front sling is attached somewhere on the side. There's some drawbacks to the sling setup, but you could always modify it, fix it, put it on an aftermarket type of sling attachment point. There's a couple places. Spectre Gear is one that comes to mind. So magazines, obviously going to be specific towards the rifle. So if you have a 7.62 by 39, obviously you're going to have to buy this 7.62 by 39 magazines for your Ruger Mini 30. This is a Mini 14. Ships with the 5-round magazine, box magazine, plastic follower, plastic base plate, metal body. Ruger sells 10 rounders, but this happens to be an aftermarket 10 round. Same thing. These tend to work okay. I prefer the Ruger brand. They work a lot better. And 20 round magazines. They also have a 30 round magazine, which I do not have one of those. I think that the balance of the 30 rounder with the full metal magazine, fully loaded, it just throws off the weight and the balance of the rifle. The 20 rounders, not only do they look good, but I think that they are the best compromise as far as round capacity versus weight on this platform. Reloading the magazine in the rifle is fairly easy. It's a rock and lock type, almost like an AK. Put it in, lock it back. To release it, I'm going to push forward on the magazine release, rock it forward, now it's out. Super easy to do, super simple. Just make sure your magazine's seated. Sometimes if you have the bolt closed on this and a fully loaded magazine, it's more difficult to lock it in. So what I end up doing, pull back the bolt, press this button up here, locks it back into place. Now you have an open action. It makes loading the magazine with the fully loaded magazine a lot easier. Load it back up. and you're going to just pull back on a charging handle. It'll load it up a lot easier. So what are some of the negatives that are on this rifle? Let me grab it real quick. Negative is, does not come factory threaded unless you buy the specific model that is factory threaded. It has non-adjustable front sights for height or windage. Has a very difficult to adjust rear sight for height and windage. It has proprietary magazines. That's an issue. You know what I did to solve that? I just bought magazines. I know they're expensive, but now I have enough and I don't have to worry about that anymore. Some of the compromises, you have a full-length stock, rifle stock, which I actually prefer on this, is the mounting system that you have for optics. It's really lacking. There are some other optic solutions. You can replace the handguard up here with the continue rail handguard, and people seem to like that. You can put a forward mount red dot or scope on it. I think actually the last con that you'll hear about this rifle is its price. You could go out and buy an AR-15 for a heck of a lot less than this rifle today. These used to be pretty affordable. Not so much anymore. Now, what do I like about it? This rifle is extremely handy. I have taken it out quite a bit, shot it. It's easy to load, unload, to cycle, to clear malfunctions if there are any ammo-related issues. I haven't had any malfunctions with this rifle. I've put about 500 rounds through it. It is spot on from the factory as far as sighting goes. The iron sights, I'm pretty proficient with them. My eyes haven't gone that bad yet. So I'm able to shoot pretty good with the iron sights, and I prefer it because it's just a really handy rifle. So what are your thoughts on the Mini 14? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you want it in your collection? Do you think it's obsolete now? Do you think better things have come and gone? Leave your comments down below. I'd love to read those. And also, if you like this content, you want to see more of it, please subscribe to my channel to get me up over 500. I know it's a small task, but I'd love to see that happen. And I'll see you on the next video.